Hi, my name is DrJLT. In this video, I'd like to share some backstories of another album of photos that I've posted on my blog, DrJLT.com. This album was basically of photos that I've taken in June 2018 in Bruges. Bruges, as you may know, is a small city in the Flemish region of Belgium. It had many canals. It was quite close. It is quite close to the sea, so it was quite famous for its canals and its architecture. So it's medieval architecture, so it was quite beautiful, and I think there's something about the Flemish people which how to say, I think they are a combination of the Dutch people, which keep their houses neat and clean, but they also have are a little bit more romantic, like the Catholic Southern European people. So there is something very interesting there, and surprisingly, there were a number of famous artists, painters from the Renaissance era that came from this region. Anyway, let's delve into this album. It could be a little bit long, so maybe I will cut it into two parts, perhaps. All right, so this is the first photo in this album. It was actually in I think they were a gallery. They were selling some art pieces in I think the gallery is located in the bell tower of on the next to the Grand Market. So I found this quite interesting. These there are some quite interesting art pieces. Obviously, I'm not going to how to say completely reproduce those arts. So for that reason, I only posted one of them. And this is the bell tower of the Grand Market, and as you can see, on a beautiful summer day, it is splendid, I would say. It's you can see a lot of details, and these are quite well preserved. I guess it has been renovated over the years, but still true to the original style and the original details. So it's quite beautiful. There is and this photo is one of just a random building next to, well, one of the many thoroughfares in Bruges, and I guess this one is a hotel, because as you can see here, it says Hotel Sablon, so that's probably a hotel. Quite beautiful. You see the facade. And here is another shot of I think perhaps the building on the same block, and you see the facade is quite beautiful as well. This is another street corner, and here I guess it was probably about 500 meters down the road, and there was I think a smaller road, and this I think is a pub, and you can see this quite beautiful little building with red bricks, and they decorated with a lot of flowers. So this is something that's quite typically Flemish, and it's quite beautiful. This is another shot of the bell tower. So all these photos are taken, I would say, in succession. So I parked the car and I went towards the Grand Market. So this is another shot of the bell tower, and yeah, it is quite beautiful here, isn't it? Here's another shot From this angle, you could, I guess, I hope you could appreciate the dimension of the tower. It is quite large. It's quite tall, and at the same time, it's quite elegantly built with red bricks. This is, I think this is. I could be wrong, but I think this is the city hall, and maybe this is a museum. Maybe it was the city hall, and it's now a museum. Maybe that is probably closer to the truth. So as you can see, there is this patio here, quite beautiful, and the passage underneath. It's quite elegantly decorated, and I think it's quite beautiful as well. This is another look from the other side. I think this is the if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the southern side of the bell tower. You see there were a lot of tourists who are queuing to get inside and climb the tower. This is I think the northern side of the Grand Market, and we see some pubs here. Jubilee, I think it's a famous brand of beer. I don't think it's necessarily the best, but it's quite broadly distributed. You see, there's well, everyone is a pub. It's either a pub or a cafe or a restaurant, which basically means the same. And this is a location that is not that far away from the Grand Market, perhaps just a couple of blocks away, but this is a very elegant building, which is now a 5-star hotel, and as you can see, it is quite elegant. Oh, this is another picture from the gallery. I think there is when I uploaded these photos, I think for some reason the order was not necessarily chronological. For some reason, I don't quite remember what happened there, but they were not necessarily in chronological order, so there was some jumping around, I guess. This is I think the museum, as you can see, the main municipal museum. This is the post office, I think. It's quite beautiful. Belgian Post. This is just a small sculpture. I don't think, maybe this is a fountain, in fact, in the center of a small square. I think maybe 200 meters from the Grand Market to the northwest of the Grand Market. And I just saw that this shield and I think this is a lion, and this is a beast, another beast. And I just saw that I just thought that this is a very beautiful picture, so I took it. Another shot at the Grand Market. There was some type of event. I'm not entirely certain what event it is, but they covered the Grand Market with tents, and I think there were some. I don't know. I guess maybe there was some festivals, maybe some music events in the evening. I'm not entirely certain. Here you see some horse-drawn carriages. For tourists, obviously, and it's not exclusive. It's not unique to Bruges. I think this is quite common in the Flemish region. They are again very clean and very colorful, so that's quite interesting as well. This is, I think, the sculpture of Madonna at the entrance, right above the entrance to the bell tower. So you can see some beautiful, you can see the details of the bricks, and you can see the details of the sculpture. I think it's quite nice. This is just I think this is the on the west side to the north of the Grand Market, a building I saw it, and I thought that it was quite interesting as well, because of the you see these I'm not entirely sure, this is a new Gothic style of windows going up, with fake windows going up, and the arches all with the yellow brick, and it's rare, I think, to find this type of architecture elsewhere, so that's why I took a picture of it. This is already removed, I would say 800 meters, a kilometer away from the Grand Market. So from the very center of Bruges, as you can see, there is a canal here, and this, I believe, is to the northeast of the center of Bruges. And this is practically the other side of the previous picture, and there were some floating, I don't know exactly what, in art installations, let's say, where there were a lot of ropes, and you can basically walk there. And an interesting story was that for a strange reason, something just maybe it was dust, or maybe it was sand, something that just suddenly got into both of my eyes when I was there, and I saw. So even though I wasn't sad, I had to cry for about 10-15 minutes in order to to continue moving, because I just couldn't open my eyes. Very beautiful place, very beautiful place. This is I would say this is about 500 meters to the northeast of the Grand Market, so it's still in the northeast quadrant of the city of Bruges, and there is a small square. I believe if to the left is the beginning of a canal. Well, these buildings, this row of houses was facing a beautiful church. And you can see the red bricks and the red doors, the large and very elegantly decorated windows on all the houses. Even though, as per usual in Belgium, no two houses are the same, because there was no real planning regulation before. But at least in the Flemish region, people made an effort to build beautiful houses. So yes, so this is the beginning of the canal. That row of houses was practically in the background here, and in the foreground is something made of I think plastic. It's another art installation, and this one probably is a whale just flipping out of the water, and you can see there's a statue here, and right to the left of the frame, which is not included, which is not basically outside the frame, it is a church that's quite beautiful. I think I have some pictures of that too. But unfortunately, this album was not actually ordered in chronological orders. But doesn't matter. We will see it in due time. This is another picture. I think if we follow this, there was actually a back alley, not along this canal, but just 1 block away, one small block away, maybe 50 meters, something like that away. And if we walk about 200, 300 meters, we come to another square. And here there's another sculpture. This is all very beautiful. If it weren't for the square being turned into a parking lot with lots of practically metal boxes parked there, it would be much better. But anyway, it was still an interesting sight. Just would have been better for the photo. Here is from that square. We kept on going along the valley, along the alley that I mentioned. And here is if we kept on walking for about 200 meters, it's like this. We can continue to see the rows of houses, which are quite elegant and I think quite beautiful. And this is part of the appeal of coming to Bruges. Is the architecture, and also of course the culture. You could also consider the drinks and the food, which was very, very good, and maybe also some delicacies like chocolate. Belgian chocolate is quite well known, but I think if it weren't for all those things, still Belgium and Bruges could be known for the architecture, and especially on a sunny day like sunny afternoon like that day, it was fantastic. Although I think even when it's rainy, the thing about Belgium is that when it rains, it usually doesn't rain all the time. So when it rains half an hour or 1 hour, and then it got sunny for 15-20 minutes. And in that 15-20 minutes, when you have just a break of the clouds, and rays of sun just come down, you see it's quite beautiful. And if you seize that opportunity to take some beautiful photos, it's good all around, right? Although I think maybe you can say similar things about some Dutch cities, particularly Amsterdam, but I think in the Flemish region this is more pronounced. All right, so I think maybe let's stop here. We come back tomorrow for the second part of this album. Thanks for watching, and I wish you a great day.